Hey, what up? I'm Kristen. You can call me KK. Welcome. So happy to have you. I wanted to do a quick yoga flow to stretch out the quadriceps. My quads are feeling pretty tight today, so we're not trying to go extra flexy with our stretches here. We're really just trying to get into the pose, breathe into the pose, feel really nice, and work to lengthen the quadriceps. We might also sprinkle in some hamstring stretches as well, just because everything is connected. So it's nice to stretch out other parts of the body as well, such as maybe the hips and glutes too. So I'll begin in child's pose. Just walk over with my blocks. I have two blocks here. If you have blocks handy, sometimes they're helpful to help give you a little bit more stabilization in the pose. You're welcome to use blocks. I also have a blanket here to sometimes rest my knees on. I have bad knees. I think, a lot of us have bad knees through age. That's okay. A lot of us play sports and sometimes the knees are the first to go. So I have this here to place underneath my knees to prevent any really squashing down into the joint that causes discomfort. Let's begin in child's pose. Bring the knees wide, big toes touch, walk the hands forward, and bring the forehead to the ground. Sink down here and connect with the breath. Feel the lower back release. Maybe come up onto your fingertips. Enjoy a nice shoulder stretch. Feel long in the side of the body, through the upper back. As we take a moment to center on our mat and connect with the breath. Feels good to breathe, feels good to be in our body. Take inventory. You can place the palms back on the ground. Just double check in with the body. See if it's trying to tell you something. In constant communication with the breath. Listening to our body with an open mind and an open heart is a great way to help restore ourselves and prevent injury. Push up through your palms. We'll come to a tabletop and we'll just link our movement with the breath. Inhale to cow pose. Let the belly drop and gaze forward. Bend at the elbows even. Exhale, push through the hands, round through the spine. Bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, gaze forward. Really send the sit bones upward. Gentle with the spine though. No need to force anything. Exhale, round. Now move with your own breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat pose. Push through the hands. Your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips, hip distance apart. About 3 more rounds of breath. Linking the movement with breath. Letting it feel good, getting into the crevices of the body. One last inhale, gaze forward. And one last exhale. Push through the hands, open up the shoulder blades. Inhale to neutral spine. Nice job. We'll just get ourselves a little warmed up here. So on your next inhale, keep the right knee bent and then lift the right knee off the ground. Flex the right foot. See if you can lift that right knee up even higher. Inhale, gaze forward for your cow pose. Lift the foot. Exhale, round and draw the knee towards your nose. Inhale, the right foot up. Cow pose, gaze forward, belly drops. Exhale, push through the hands, knee to nose. Inhale up one more time. Exhale, knee to nose. Release down through tabletop. Soften in the feet.
And we'll inhale that left foot up. Keep the knee bent. Maybe flex the foot. I'm gonna place this under my knee so my knee doesn't hurt. Keep that foot up and inhale, gaze forward, let the belly drop. Exhale, draw the left knee to the nose, round through the spine, engage the abdominals. Inhale back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back up one more time. Exhale, knee to nose. Back through tabletop. And we'll bring the knees together to touch. Sink the hips towards the heels for child's pose with the knees together. Bring your arms by your sides and the forehead to the ground. Just rest here for a moment. Let the upper back open up and the spine release, the lower back release. Stay free in the neck and the head. Come back to the breath. Your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up to kneeling, and we'll walk ourselves forward through tabletop. We'll kind of walk the knees back a little bit, and we're gonna take that right foot forward, step in between the palms. So here we're gonna sink really deep in the hips, but if the quadricep doesn't wanna do that, you can stay up pretty high here. So even when you're up here with your hands on the knees, you can really feel that deep stretch in the left hip flexor and quadricep. Stay really long through the spine, through the torso, broaden the chest, and drive the shoulders away from the ears. This might be enough. You can stay here and breathe. Or if you'd like, you can sink deep into the hips. Don't let the knee go over the ankle here. If you'd like to sink even deeper, you can keep the hands on the ground if you'd like. No need to force anything or overdo it, just really lengthening out that left quadricep. Breathe. If you'd like, you can grab onto your blocks. This is a great moment to have some blocks to rest the hands on for some support. See if you can broaden in the chest. The left toes can stay curled under or flat on the ground. Sometimes it feels good to do one or the other. Breathe here. Two more rounds of breath. Deep breath in. Exhale, push with the hands. We're gonna straighten that right leg and send the hips back. You can bring those blocks back or just bring the hands to the ground. That's fine too for a hamstring stretch in the right leg. You wanna flex that right foot to help keep the structural alignment in the leg, the muscles in the leg slightly engaged. Make sure that the hips try to stay as level as you can get them here. And then breathe. Inhale, exhale. Two more rounds of breath. Drive that right hip back just a little bit. And then we'll walk the hands forward, bend into the right knee. Enjoy this nice deep stretch once more in the left quadricep. Just notice any differences in the body here. Next, we're gonna bring the palms in the inside of the right foot. As we heel toe that right foot out to the right for lizard pose, you fall onto the edge of the right foot. That right knee splays out to the right. Really deep stretch in the right hip, maybe even the quadricep, other parts of the body. We're gonna engage with a really deep quadricep stretch here on the left side. You can stay here if this is enough, or you can try to bend at the left knee, lift that left foot off the ground. This just might deepen the stretch even more. If you'd like, you can just stay here. That's all good. Or you can take the right hand up and around and maybe clasp on to the foot or ankle. Keep that foot flexed. Twist open to the right. Still breathing into this. Breathe through the discomfort. One last inhale. And exhale, release. Bring that right hand back around. Place it on the inside and we'll heel toe that right foot back in between the palms. From here, we're gonna curl the left toes under, push through the left foot so the left knee comes off the ground, and we'll send that right foot back. We'll come into a downward facing dog. So the fingers are spread really wide. Let the head fall in between the arms, shake the head yes and no, pedal out the heels. And then we'll come down to our tabletop. You can walk the knees back a little bit, and we'll sweep the left foot forward in between the palms. And I'm going to place some support underneath my right knee, since that's my problem child knee. Protecting the joints is super important. With that left foot forward, you're welcome to come up onto that right knee. This might be enough. You might feel this really deep in the right hip flexor or quadricep here. Stay really long in the spine, the torso, broaden the chest, and roll the shoulders back and down. Breathe. If you'd like to take this a little bit deeper, you can shift the hips forward. Make sure that the knee doesn't go over the ankle, so you might need to bring that foot a little bit more forward. Blocks are nice here too. As you just enjoy this really deep stretch in the right quadricep, also within the hips. Never is a pose isolated for one part of the body. Everything is connected. You may feel it in other parts of the body. See if you can let go of any unnecessary gripping or tension in other parts of the body, like your face. Smiling always helps to relax the face muscles, as well as the shoulders. That right foot can stay curled under, or the foot can be flat on the ground. Breathe. See if you can go a little bit deeper on your exhale. Maybe you can let go of the tension in that tight spot. Consciously make an effort to let go, stretch and lengthen. Know your edge, know your body, listen to what it's telling you. If you need to pull back, then pull back. We can't get anywhere if we injure ourselves. And then push through the palms. We'll shift the hips back towards the right foot and straighten the left leg, flex the left foot. You can bring the hands to frame the left leg. Fold over the left leg for a deep hamstring stretch. See if you can level the hips. Breathe really deeply here. The hands are here to support you. Make sure that you're not putting all of the weight into your hands. Maybe even come up onto your fingertips just to be sure. One more big round of breath. Inhale. Exhale, and we'll shift ourselves forward. 3 more rounds of breath here in this deep stretch. See if you can broaden in the chest a little bit more. Release the jaw. Soften down in the shoulders. And then we'll bring the hands on the inside of the left foot for lizard pose. We'll heel toe that left foot out to the left as that left knee drops open. Come onto the edge of the left foot. This might be enough. You might even want to come down to the forearms for a deeper stretch. Maybe try to lift that right foot off the ground. Bend the right knee. Flex the right foot, really deep hamstring stretch. This really engages that right quad. I keep saying hamstring. It's okay. I think you know what I mean though. We'll take the left hand up and around if you're up for it to clasp onto the foot or ankle. And peel open to the left. Breathe through the discomfort. Three more rounds of breath. You got it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Release the foot gently. Protect the knee. Bring that left hand back and heel toe the foot in between the hands. We'll curl the right toes under, plant the palms, and send the left foot back, downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels. Drive the hips up towards the ceiling. Let the head hang freely. Shake the head yes and no. Come down through tabletop, and we'll lower ourselves down to our belly. Thank you, blanket, for protecting my knee. On your belly. The chest and head are raised, so you might even want to come into a sphinx pose where the elbows are under the shoulders here. Maybe you walk the hands forward if that's too intense. You could even take a pillow and just place it underneath your belly here to give you a little bit of support. Once you're here, bend at the right knee. We're going to take that right hand behind us to clasp onto the top of the right foot and just draw the right foot towards the glute. So this is a deep back bend, as well as a deep hamstring, as well as a deep stretch in the quadriceps. Drive the toes towards you. So the palm is on the toes, the top of the foot, and you're drawing the heel and the sole of the foot towards your glute. As it kind of comes out to the side, if you're super flexy, you might be able to get the foot all the way down next to you. Just breathe. Maybe even come down to the side of the body and let your cheek rest on your arm. No need to bring any extra strain into this pose if you don't have to. Breathe. Three more rounds of breath. Release the shoulders. Melt into the floor. Gently release the foot and straighten the leg out. And we'll just come down to our belly, release the lower back for a moment. And straighten the right arm out. If you'd like, you can come up into Sphinx pose again for the beginning, just for a little bit of leverage. We'll bend at the left knee and take that left hand around on the inside of the foot as the palm goes on the top of the toes and the top of the foot. And then you just draw the heel and the sole of the foot towards the left glute. You can stay here, or you can lower the right arm down to the ground and rest your cheek on your arm. Breathe here. Release the shoulders, release any gripping or tension you're holding onto in the hips. Other parts of the glutes and legs.
Okay.
See if you can deepen this stretch a little bit more on your exhale. Two more rounds of breath. Gently release the foot and straighten out the legs. And bring your forehead to your forearms or to the mat and release the lower back. You can windshield the feet back and forth. Place your palms under the shoulders, push up through the palms, and we'll roll over the knees for a brief child's pose. Keep the knees together here. You can have the hands extended in front, or you can bring the arms by your sides. And then push yourself up. Kneeling here, this might actually be enough for you. So if you feel this stretch in the quadriceps here while you're kneeling, perfect, that's fine. You can sit here. If this is too intense, you might even want to sit on something like a blanket. You can set it on your calves here, maybe even use a pillow or block. And this just kind of releases the pressure on the knees, just lifts up the sit bones slightly to give you more space. If you'd like to take this a little bit deeper, if you don't really feel this, then we'll begin to bring the heels or the feet out to our side. So keep the knees together for a hero's pose. The tops of the feet on the ground, and then you just gently set the hips in between the feet. For your hero's pose, you can also sit on something. You can just scoot it underneath your sit bones so that the hips can rest there. Hands behind you, or they can rest by your sides. Whatever is your own personal edge. If this isn't enough, you can begin to come down to the forearms and let the head fall back if that's comfortable. Another variation of this, if this is just too much for you, is to straighten one leg out as you set your sit bones to the right of the left foot currently. We can begin there if you'd like. As you bring the top of the left foot rests on the ground, the calf and the ankle to the left of the quadricep. And this might be enough, or you might be able to come back down onto the forearms to really deepen this stretch in the left quad. Breathe here. If it's comfortable, you can let the head fall back, or just keep it raised. Breathe. Wherever you are here, settle into the breath. Discomfort is normal, but if you feel any pinching, pain, numbness, or tingling, please exit out of the pose. We don't want any of that numbness or tingling. We want this to feel uncomfortably comfortable. is the best way that I can describe it. And then we'll just walk ourselves back up to our palms, straighten the left leg out. If you're in the full hero pose expression, be really gentle getting out of the pose. You can push up through your palms and then work through a tabletop position and rest in child's pose as we do the other side. We bring the right ankle, shin to the ground. The top of the foot is on the ground. So keep that knee really nice and tucked into the midline as you can get it, as that calf and as the shin, calf, ankle, and foot kind of comes out to the right side. This might be enough. Every side is different. I can tell that the top of my foot or my ankle is not as flexible on this side. So it's a little bit more difficult for me to go down, but here I go. Wherever you are, breathe. If you're in child's pose, just let the spine open up. You can let the head fall back or not if that's uncomfortable. See if you're holding any gripping or tension around the areas of the hip or the leg, and just release on your exhale. Three more rounds of breath. Slowly push yourself up through your palms and straighten out that right leg. Great work. Let the ankles and feet neutralize. Don't try to move too quickly. Sometimes that can cause pain. And we'll just lie down on our back and hug the knees in for a reclined child's pose. Rock and roll. Massage the lower back. Bring the soles of the feet together to touch, and then the feet to the ground so the knees lay open in reclined bound angle, Supta Baddha Konasana. You can bring your hands to your inner thighs. They can rest on your belly softly, or they can just rest out to the side. Palms face the ceiling. A restorative hip opener, where we use gravity and our body weight to open up the hips here. To open up the hips here. Soften down, release the tension you might be holding onto in the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Breathe into the hips, the area where you feel the most tension and the most discomfort. Just bring your awareness there and then breathe in deeply into that spot. Three more rounds of breath. And then we'll straighten out the legs for our final relaxation pose before you move on to the rest of your day. Shavasana. Make any tiny adjustments, melt into the floor. Let this feel really nice as we explore stillness and silence for a moment in the body and mind. Release the tension in the jaw. Raise the eyebrows just slightly. Release the whole scalp. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you need. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this, or if this helped you in any way, or if you didn't like it, please reach out to me. I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you at some live classes over at my website, zenlabindy.com. Feel free to check it out. I do monthly free classes. Please join me. I would love to meet you, and take care. Namaste.